Ken McElroy has one of the most successful YouTube channels on the internet, bringing in dozens of accredited investors every single week. We're going to go through the exact strategy we use for his channel, how we turn those viewers into customers, and more importantly, how you can do this for yourself. So first, Jan's going to show you where we took over.
Okay, so this is about 2 years ago. This was what he was doing before. There are still some small outliers, but it's not really hitting the 50K views, 150K views. The baseline was 5K, 13K. Like, it wasn't really not that special. And then we came into play, and in the first 2 weeks, we got him feed with hundreds of thousands of views. So Josh, what is the first thing that you changed when you saw these thumbnails, obviously? What's the biggest?
The first thing that you'll notice is the videos are the exact same. They are the same topics. Ken, at 2 years ago, he still had 10,000 apartments. He still had billions of dollars in real estate, and he was always as credible. But with the content that we had, it was literally the exact same that he was doing. The only difference is how we package the videos, how we structure the videos, and how we have a good hook to the video. And then that is quite literally the difference between getting under 10,000 views per video to averaging over 200,000 views per video. And then from bringing in an accredited investor once every month or so to bringing in dozens and dozens every single week. And so the first step is leveraging his credibility. What does he have? He has a $3 billion portfolio. And so why are we trying to compete with people in the finance education space? We're not. We want to be in a niche in our own. So we want to leverage the unique credibility that he has. We want to package it in a way that it's interesting to his ideal audience of investors, but more importantly, to a super broad audience, because you can either get 100 people that watch your video and you'll get 2,000 investors. So a lot of people say the riches are in the niches, but that's just because you don't know how to get a ton of views in your niche.
Yeah, so even though real estate is quite a boring topic, these videos are not low views. So even though these topics might seem boring, and most like CEOs and entrepreneurs that want to make videos, they're like, oh, I need to talk about something flashy. I need to talk about like my Lamborghini, my new house, my mansion in the Palm, whatever. Well, this is just about his portfolio, and this is just about his apartments and his investment strategies and things that he didn't do, things that he did do. And you see those views. People don't only click on Lamborghinis. I think that's a main limiting belief that people have when they start going onto YouTube. And talking about banks and the market going down, up, his debt being over 700 million in debt. Those things get a lot of views.
So here's the actual channel schedule that we have to get 1.4 million views per month. The channel itself makes a little over $11,000. And what we're doing to maximize Ken's time, because the goal is Ken is a busy entrepreneur. He's actually running a business. So why the hell would he be spending all of his time making videos? The first step is pre-planning the videos, for one, to get a high total addressable market cap audience, but then also attracting the right quality of people. And so we do one live stream every single Monday, where the goal is to get topical things, like this video that we just did on BlackRock confirming the worst case scenario. That is a video that's sparking curiosity, that is going to be interesting to a broad spectrum of people. And then Ken's having his own unique angle on it, because what they were talking about was a credit fund that was blowing up, which to you might not be interesting, but to our ICP, it's very interesting. And Ken has a ton of insider intel, because he's buying 200 plus unit buildings from banks right now. And so live streams are to capture the initial new audience of leveraging what's going on with the news. And then we do 2 videos per week that are predominantly evergreen, looking to attract as many people as possible. Those types of videos get a lot of views over time. And the goal is to get new people watching, starting to subscribe, and then come into our sales funnel. And the sales funnel is one of a few different ways. We take people from video into accredited investor form to call with accredited investor team and seeing if they're a good fit to invest. We also have a live event that Ken does called Limitless Expo, where we bring 2,000 investors into a room to get some of the really good financial education and seeing what's going on in the economy. Then we have lower ticket products as well. Then we also have sponsors. So we turn this into a very profitable channel, probably one of the most profitable channels on the internet, but you would never think how much strategy goes into it from the outside. So from a topic standpoint, when we're thinking through what videos are we going to make and how do you pre-plan these and how do you make it to where Ken spends as little time as possible on it, something like this video that is not doing very good, you're just playing the probabilities here. I bet if we check this video in 2 months, it will pick up a second leg. I will almost guarantee it. But for a video like this, we just pre-planned videos for Ken to react to. We pre-planned the hook, we pre-planned the packaging, and we're doing that based on past outliers that we've had. Same thing with this new video that we posted. We're storyboarding the videos so where Ken can come into the office and he can record all of it the entire week's worth of videos in 2 hours, and that's going to be all content for the week. And so if we can continuous and consistently do that, Ken's not burning out. He's consistently getting more views over time, and the channel is going to pick up steam, and we're going to get better and better results.
Yeah, the ideal results without him even thinking about it for a second. He doesn't even understand. He doesn't know about a video the second that he walks into the office. That's when he knows, and he just records what we prepare, and we get him those views.
So why don't you break down some of the thumbnail psychology and why that's so important, Jan?
So the goal is to make it visual what you're talking about. That's the most important thing. So this is about a real estate strategy, as you can see, starting from 0 to 5 million in 5 years. At the time, this was probably a unique concept. By now, we have rinsed and repeated over multiple channels, and we try it again to see if the algorithm still picks up on it. But usually when a thing is unique and it visually shows perfectly what the video is about, it works very, very well. This is well, like Josh just showed you a video that we tried this packaging again, but at the time it was quite unique. And a year ago, it got over 500,000 views. It's about TikToks, responding to TikToks. So the thumbnail is Ken looking confused with Dave Ramsey, in this case, a controversial figure, him talking about it and showing the TikTok because he's going to respond to TikToks. It is not rocket science. You need to visually show what you're going to talk about. And then you need to tell something different in the title and thumbnail. I always say one of the two has to be vague. The other one has to clarify the topic. Sometimes the thumbnail shows exactly what you're going to do and the title is quite vague. Sometimes it's the other way around. In this case, I wish I learned this sooner. It's quite vague, him sitting in a private jet, but it screams credibility and what it's like having fuck you money. The link there between him sitting in a private jet and talking about having fuck you money lines up perfectly because he's sitting in a private jet. There's not really many people that can make this video, and now they're curious what it's like because he has fuck you money. So what is it actually like? And him saying, I wish I learned this sooner. We could also put the same quote in the thumbnail, like what is like having fuck you money again. It would have never gotten the same amount of views because now you say something different with the thumbnail than the title. That's very important.
Yeah, so the goal is to add on to each other. If you think about it, the title thumbnail is such valuable real estate. And if you understand the psychology of YouTube, it's unlike Instagram or TikTok, where Instagram feeds you a video that it thinks you are going to respond to and like. That's it. Whereas YouTube, you have to choose. An individual has to make a cognizant decision to click on a video and to watch it. They don't get fed videos. When you click onto YouTube, if you pick this video, it's because something about it sparked a degree of tension or curiosity, or you said, oh wow, I know that guy. Why? Like, there's some degree of credibility that you're posing that I want to understand. And so there's a fulfillment gap or a knowledge gap that you are promising to fulfill, which we are doing. You don't necessarily give everything away. Let's look at the most popular video. I am rich yet own nothing. Here's what the government won't tell you about wealth. And then it's Ken with a guy holding a bunch of money and it says own nothing. So what is this video about? You don't really know, but you know that, hey, the rich do own nothing, but what is the government hiding from me? Like, what is this guy's face looking concerned doing? How does it all fit together? The only way to fulfill my desire to understand this is to click on it. And you know what this video is about? Why you should have your assets in LLCs. That's one of the most boring topics on the internet, but you can force demand for any topic. And how much new demand for Ken's business does a video like this generate? I can tell you, 2.2 million people seeing your business on a singular video. It is substantial.
It's not going to work against you. That's to say the least.
Unless it's getting exposed, which me and Jan have. We have too much risky stuff on the internet.
No, so there's a great example that I saw recently from someone explaining views. We can get Ken to walk outside and slap a grandma in the face. We'll probably get 1 million views, but that's not really what you want. So there is also...
I also hope Ken is not going to go slap some grandma.
No, so it actually has to be on the topic. But having fuck you money, if I tell you that his niche is real estate, you would be like, oh, but that has nothing to do with real estate. Yes, but it is still wealth management and still...
And it's interesting. But let's go into the ideation process. How did I come up with that idea? What it's like having FU money? I saw an Instagram clip of Mark Cuban saying, or he said something along the lines of, what's the point of having fuck you money if you never say fuck you? And then I was like, that's true. I was like, what does it feel like? And so then I'm just thinking from an interest perspective, I'm like, Ken, you have fuck you money. What is it like? And so then this topic is interesting to rich people that already have fuck you money to hear his opinion on it. It's interesting to young people that are like, oh, I have to know. And it's interesting to everyone in between. So that is a super wide TAM or total addressable market cap video that sparks interest for every single version of the ICP. And you can hit it perfectly. And this after said became a trend. Now, if you see online, there's so many people saying how to make FU money money in XYZ niche. But we created the trend. That the goal is to be the first mover and to create something out of nothing that other people try and copy. And you can do this with any business. If you're a plumber, a doctor, a real estate, it doesn't matter. It's forcing curiosity with your unique credibility and then packaging it in a way that is achievable or interesting.
Yeah, I think one big thing here is being the first one, because copying outliers is fun and it works a lot, like it works very well, but you will never outcompete the first video, unfortunately. So you gotta also gamble on new things that are not proven yet. And if you actually are a good agency, then the client trusts you with this. But if you're always failing, then maybe don't do that. But you start with copying outliers. What works for other people? How can I turn this into my own content? And then sometimes also like this, responding to TikToks, that was already being done by people all over the internet, but not really about investing and real estate.
And so you're putting a unique spin on it. And so this is a format that other people have. You're reacting to TikToks, but now it's a $2 billion investor reacting to TikTok gurus. And so it's a new angle on something that people already know.
Yeah, and people would probably not really care if he wasn't a $2 billion investor. That is the point. So you gotta be able to make certain types of videos. You gotta look for the client that you're servicing or for yourself that you're making content about. What is different about me that other people can't talk about? Like Ken's 10,000 apartments. Or like the 64 years here, this top 3 video that we posted 3 months ago. He actually has 64 years of experience in life and wealth to talk about. Like I am 23. It wouldn't work if I made that video.
Look at every single one of these videos. At the top is 80% of them are credibility driven. This is why being in debt is good. We are $2 billion in debt. We've since repackaged this video. It wasn't the original title thumbnail, but guess what? If you're not $2 billion in debt, you cannot make this video. Now let's go back, Jan. The other one is what it's like having FU money. If you don't have FU money, guess what? You can't make that video. The other one is 64 years of advice. Well, if you're not 64 years, you can't do that. This one's I owe 10,000 tenants and it's worse than 2008. That's not the original title we used, but that is, guess what? If you don't have 10,000 apartments, you can't do that. And so every single one of these is leveraging something that you have uniqueness that no one else can take. And that could be forcing it. It could be, I made 100 videos. Here's what I learned. You don't have to be good. All it is you did a lot of things and then you are talking about the thing that you did. I did 100 push-ups today. Here's what I learned. Obviously, that's not that interesting, but if you did 100,000 push-ups, guess what? It would be.
Yeah, I did 100,000 push-ups in the last 3 months. Here's what I learned. Everyone that kind of knows what a push-up is probably interested in what happened to his body and even to his discipline, maybe. If this was interesting to you and you're curious what it looks like for one of the biggest CPAs of America going super hard on social media right now, watch this video right here.